Here's how we built a floating dock for our pond in one day. First, we started to fill the bungholes of the barrels. We used a marine-safe, fast-curing silicone. Then we started to lay out the frame of the dock. We used 2x6 pre-treated wood boards. These were pre-cut to 10-foot lengths. Here we are connecting the boards. We have the full material list in the description of the video with all of the different types of screws that we used. Once we had the frame laid out, we went ahead and put the barrels in all four corners and then secured them with another board on the inside of the frame. Next, we added more floor joists to the inside of the frame. This was just to add some more stability to the dock and also for us to connect the decking boards later on. After we had all of the floor joists put in, we removed the barrels and then propped the dock up with a board on the outside so it was easier to add the barrels back in without flipping the dock over completely. We added decking boards just on the ends of where the barrels would go, and then we secured them from the underneath using cable and Crosbys. Once we had all of the barrels secured, it was time to push it into the pond. The dock was extremely heavy for the two of us to carry on its own, even without the decking boards, so we used 2 pieces of scrap wood to maneuver it in. Then we also made sure to stop and tie it off before we pushed it all the way into the pond. This idea worked pretty well. As you can see, it didn't take very much effort and went right into the pond. Next, we got to work on the floating ramp. We used the same idea and design as we did for the dock, just on a smaller scale and only used 1 barrel. The ramp measurements were 10 foot by 3 foot. After the ramp was built, we maneuvered it over to the pond, and here we're just trying to figure out the exact location that we would like to set it. To secure the ramp, we used 2 angle iron bars and we beat them into the bank. And then after we got them level with the floating dock, we also secured them with a nut and bolt so it can move a little bit. Here is a close-up of that. After the ramp was secured, we had to connect it to the dock. We used 2 hinges that hinge both ways. This will allow for water fluctuation. Now we can start adding on the decking boards. We went ahead and measured and pre-cut all of the boards ahead of time. This made it easier for my husband to install the boards as I brought them over and he just worked his way back up the ramp. Next, we moved on to the decking boards on the dock. This was pretty easy. These were 10-foot pre-cut decking boards, so we did not have to cut these down at all. The only thing that was a little tricky was the decking boards that we had previously installed to secure the barrels, because we had to remove them as we were placing the boards back on. Some of them were a little tricky just because the barrels were floating and trying to pop up a little bit, so it took us a second to get those moved around properly. Overall, this was a pretty easy project, and again, we were able to complete it in one day. The full material and tool list is listed in the description below. Thanks for watching, and let us know if this was helpful or if you've built your own floating dock.